Hello friends, welcome to another AI video. Let's talk about another cool alternative to RAG. It's called CAG. If you're into AI like me, you know how these tools are revolutionizing how machines think and respond. Today we're diving deep into what makes CAG stand out, but we'll keep it fun, simple, and packed with examples. Buckle up. First, let's refresh our memories on GraphRag to set the stage. You remember RAG, right? Retrieval augmented generation is like giving your AI a super smart sidekick. Instead of just relying on what it learned during training, RAG pulls in fresh info from a database or documents to make answers more accurate and up to date. Think of it as your AI Googling stuff on the fly before chatting with you. Now, GraphRag takes that up a notch by organizing all that info into a graph, a web of connected nodes, like a mind map. Entities, like people, places, or ideas, are dots, and relationships, like works for or located in, are lines connecting them. This helps the AI see the big picture and handle questions needing context across multiple pieces. For example, if you ask about climate change impacts, GraphRag might link rising seas to coastal cities and economic losses, pulling a more cohesive story than plain RAG. It's great for avoiding hallucinations, those made up facts AIs sometimes spit out, because everything's structured like a family tree. But hold on, because KG is this super exciting alternative to RAG that's got everyone buzzing. Knowledge augmented generation flips the script by baking in structured knowledge right from the start, often using knowledge graphs to supercharge the AI's brain. Imagine RAG as grabbing books from a library shelf, but CAGI is like having a librarian who already knows the plot twists and connections in every book. It combines the flexibility of language models with rock solid, organized knowledge, making responses smarter and more reliable. CAGI doesn't just retrieve, it reasons through layers of info, breaking down complex queries into steps. Picture asking your AI, how does AI ethics affect self-driving cars in Europe? CAG might map out ethics rules, link them to EU laws, connect to car tech like sensors, and even factor in real-world accidents as examples. It's trending on GitHub because it's open source in some versions like the OpenSPG framework, and it's transforming enterprise AI by handling domain-specific stuff, like medical diagnoses or financial forecasts with laser precision. Now, how does CAG differ from GraphRag? Both use graphs, but GraphRag is more of an upgrade to basic RAG, focusing on entity connections for better retrieval. It shines on straightforward queries, but can stumble on super tricky ones that need multi-step thinking, sometimes missing the forest for the trees. CAGI, on the other hand, is like GraphRag on steroids. It's an enhanced framework that integrates knowledge graphs more deeply with RAG tech. It uses things like LLM agents, mini AI helpers, to decompose questions, query the graph dynamically, and synthesize answers. The key difference? CAG excels at complex, interconnected reasoning. In tests, CAG outperforms GraphRag on tough benchmarks, like analyzing a company's supply chain risks, where GraphRag might list facts, but CAG predicts outcomes by linking global events, supplier data, and market trends. However, GraphRag is simpler to set up for basic needs, while CAG demands more upfront graph building effort. Let's chat about the advantages and disadvantages of KHA compared to other methods like plain RAG or even traditional search engines. On the plus side, CAG crushes it for accuracy in specialized fields. Think healthcare, where it can link symptoms to treatments via a knowledge graph, reducing errors by up to 30% in some studies. It's scalable for big data, handles multimodal info, like text plus images, and fights bias by grounding answers in verified knowledge. Disadvantages? It's resource hungry. Building and querying those graphs needs more computing power and expertise than simple RAG, which might cost more for small teams. Setup time is longer, you have to curate the knowledge base, unlike RAG's quick vector search. Compared to old school methods like keyword searches, CAG is way more intuitive but can overcomplicate simple questions. Still, for enterprises, the trade off is worth it. Imagine a bank using CAG to detect fraud by graphing transaction patterns, spotting anomalies where RAG might miss. Now let's talk about LLMs and LCMs and how different models categorized under these can theoretically work with CAG. Large language models, or LLMs, are the powerhouses we know, like GPT or Llama, that process text token by token, predicting the next word based on patterns. They're fantastic for creative tasks but can hallucinate without external help. Large concept models, or LCMs, are the hot new kids on the block from Meta, shifting from tokens to high level concepts. Instead of breaking sentences into bits, LCMs encode ideas as whole concepts in a semantic space, enabling deeper reasoning, like understanding democracy as a bundle of rights, elections, and history. Theoretically, pairing LLMs with KAG is straightforward. Use an LLM as the generator, with K's graph providing the knowledge backbone for grounded responses. For instance, an LLM in KG could draft a business report, pulling graph linked data on market trends. LCMs take it further. They could supercharge KAG by reasoning at a conceptual level, mapping graph nodes to abstract ideas for even better synthesis. Imagine an LCM CAG combo analyzing climate policy. The LCM grasps sustainability conceptually, while KIG supplies graph data on emissions and laws, creating ultra insightful outputs. Models like Meta's LCM prototypes or open source LLMs could integrate via APIs, but we'd need to handle scaling. LCMs might reduce token limits but increase conceptual computation. Exciting stuff, right? It could make AI feel truly intelligent, not just word smart. Whew, that was a blast. If you love this, hit like and subscribe for more AI adventures. What's your take on KCAG? Game changer or overkill? Drop a comment below. See you next time.